Hi everyone, welcome to this BatchLine tutorial video. Today we're going to be talking a bit more about the BatchLine dashboard and this central panel here which is titled BatchLine. Last time we looked at customer orders. Today we're going to be looking at these stats up at the top here. So let's have a look at this first stat, awaiting delivery. So historically bookshops and BatchLine have had problems with a lot of very old orders hanging around in the system, because either we received an acknowledgement for the order and then the supplier later cancelled the order but we never removed it, or for some reason goods in was not performed correctly against that book and so the system never knew to get rid of that order. Either way, most BatchLine sites have a lot of old redundant orders on the system. So this awaiting delivery part of BatchLine has two functions. One is to hopefully promote people going in and cleaning up a lot of that old data, and the other one is to actually drive chasing orders that haven't arrived that maybe should have. So we can click on this little button here next to the awaiting delivery figure to bring up the detail here, and this will automatically be arranged in descending order of how old these order lines are. So we can see here we've got some orders from Macmillan, order lines from Macmillan which are, you know, a year and a half old or a year and a bit old. So what we could do here is we could just delete these and we can say this did actually arrive, don't put into the order history a cancellation, just delete the line. Or we could say actually that actually never arrived, I do actually want to cancel it. I want to register that that order was cancelled in the stock history. So we can do that, you know, we can go through that, and or we can mark multiple lines and do that for all of them, and BatchLine will iterate through those lines and we can choose what we want to do with them as we go through. The other thing we can do from this screen is we can wholesale get rid of old stuff. So we won't register cancellations for anything that we do in this next process. It's just simply a process of going through and getting rid of old stuff that we don't want in the system anymore. So if we click on old order cleanup, we get a little explainer here. Probably a good idea to not have other people placing orders or doing goods in or anything whilst we do this. So a little warning there. And then we'll default to 90 days ago, and BatchLine won't let you choose anything more recent than that. If we try and start the cleanup, it will say you're not allowed to do that. But say we want to go back a bit further than that, so we'll go back to say we'll go back to this time last year. So we're going to be getting rid of anything which is a year older or more. So we'll get a warning here which is telling us what's going to happen. This process will delete all purchase orders and associated lines placed before said date, delete any stock order allocations associated with these orders even if the allocation was assigned after that date. We'll fix on order values awaiting dispatch and stock order allocation quantities on all stock records. So that's another feature of this order cleanup. We kind of fix some quantities on the stock records, and it's just telling us here it's not going to record cancellations. We'll just have an order deleted old order cleanup record. It will be inserted into the stock history instead. So we can click yes there, and we're just going to quickly go through, perform all of those tasks, which doesn't take too long, and then we can see actually the oldest thing we've got on the system now is now 360 days old, and we've reduced that down quite a lot. So you know, we could do that again, could be a bit harsher now. So we're doing anything which is older than 90 days this time. So we've got a much more reasonable figure now. And now it's kind of a bit more workable if we actually want to go down this list and try and delete individually things that we want to get rid of. Awaiting acknowledgement. We can just quickly go in here and look at the orders that we've got awaiting acknowledgement, and we can get the acknowledgements just like we can from the order tab. And if we've got multiple orders in here, we can click get all acts, which will just go through all of our orders which are awaiting acknowledgement and try and acknowledge all of them. So that's just a task that we might forget about potentially. Acknowledging orders, that's going to just remind us that we've got that outstanding and that we can do it from here. Old orders, this is, you know, stuff which is based on what we've defined here. These are our old orders, so anything older than 25 days here we're going to class as old. So this is reminding us maybe these are things that we need to get rid of really, or that require some attention. Then we've got a little reminder of how many reorder from sales records we have to be processed, so we can click there and quickly switch to reorder from sales, maybe go through and either get rid of those or reorder books that we would like to reorder. The next bit we've got here is a stat which shows us how many unprocessed invoices we've got. So if we click on that, we can look through these and have a look at our unprocessed invoices. We can either mark them as processed, or that might prompt us to go and do some goods in. And we won't see all of those. We ignore anything that's older than 2 months. So if we say 1 month, then that number will go down, and we'll just see, you know, the last month's invoices basically. And then down at the bottom here, we've got recent customer orders, which is meant to just give us a view over what customers have been ordering, to kind of prompt us. Maybe we want to actually look at ordering some of these books, because if we've got 4 orders for the absolutes, maybe that's something that we should have in stock. So that's what this bit is meant for. And like everything, we can right click here and we can make an Excel document out of that, and do whatever we would like with that Excel document. And that's anything that's been ordered in the past 30 days. Again, that's configurable, so we might want to just look at the last 21 days or whatever here. So that's a quick overview of the stats we can see on this central BatchLine tab, which are meant to kind of drive us to do with actions that we might want to take in the bookshop. Clearing up old orders, acknowledging orders, doing our reorder from sales, doing goods in on unprocessed invoices, or having a look at our recent customer orders and maybe thinking about what else we might order for the shop. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Cheers. Bye.